everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hail to the Chin podcast, the companion podcast that runs alongside the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. Before we get any further, though, I wish to pass everybody over to Steve. You've got something to say, haven't you, mate?
Well, yeah, just last episode we were discussing the cabin, weren't we? And about how it would link to, obviously, the show linking to Army of Darkness. And we were saying how rotten... what was it, like rotten tomato head comes through, and you were saying about the shotgun blast in the door, keeping that continuity. And then we said that the only sort of like damage you could think of to keep an eye out for was like that service, the service window, where it gets ripped off. But I forgot that in Evil Dead 2, the trap door is cut in half.
Yes, I knew. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Ash goes through with the chainsaw, doesn't he? Goes through the trap door and it just falls in half rather than
they kick
actually.
It down,
So that was just a mistake. So that was. I watched it last night, so I've forgotten about that. But other than that, that was it really.
Other than that, that was quite literally it. But Sam, welcome back as well. You were almost missed in the last episode. In fact, to the case of that, we missed you nearly entirely.
Unfortunately I couldn't make the last episode, which was a shame because I had a lot that I wanted to bring up with that last episode. I had some beef, but there's a lot of relatable stuff in this episode, so I'll be able to.
We can just get straight to it if it comes up.
Yeah, so if everyone else is ready, I'm on Stars Original Presents.
I imagine all listeners as well are on Stars Originals Presents. After 3, Sam, the usual countdown.
3, 2, 1. Play.
Go. Huge feeling of nostalgia knowing coming into this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was the one that everyone was waiting for.
Absolutely.
It was the kind of the full circle. We're now in the final, 3 episodes. You're now at basically what is an Evil Dead 4.
I mean, sorry, Sam, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say, I was just going to go into what my problem was, why the previously was.
But go ahead. Go ahead, yeah.
All right, well, I really liked Amanda, Jill Marie Jones's character. I thought she was going to be really dark, she was going to be, sort of like a really tough character. But in the last episode, Fire in the Hole, my biggest problem was Ash turns on the charm. I thought she was going to be the one that would, he would be flirting with all day long, and then... she'll just be like, give it a rest. But
like sort of thing.
And then he just starts flirting with her, and her character just completely changed to be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And it just really sort of took away the character potential there. And and it just felt a bit cringe to me, that whole scene with her and him. And at the end, where they're almost like the Scooby Gang, and I know Ash bowed on them all, as you can see here. I love this splatter.
The splatter of the birds. So Army of Darkness.
But I don't know. I did like that episode, but it was probably my least favourite episode of the whole series so far.
Yeah. I mean, what we were saying is it was the most it was the episode that was most like, and you could link it most to the Evil Dead remake, and more general zombie kind of adventures, really.
Yeah.
Can we just cut to the fact of how amazing the cabin looks and how well they really brought it back, essentially, as to how old and ragged and just cryptic it looks. The production team and that's just absolute hats off to. They captured it perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah. No.
Even the way that the roof looks as well, it looks like just sheets of like crappy lead or metal on the top. Even that looks perfect.
But I mean, this is what we've been waiting to see since 1992, basically. As first fans, and you got. Look at it. The cross is there.
Looks exactly the same.
Touch.
It's They've ticked off.
And the swing chair banging.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping. I don't know about anybody else, but I was kind of hoping that Ash would have reached up top to maybe the keys still being there, a bit out of continuity. As you can see, like I pointed out, the shotgun blasts through the door. That is just absolutely perfect. But this walking up onto the step is exactly the same shot as Scotty did in the first episode. Just so many nods to it. And I was just hoping that Ash was going to reach up and maybe just feel for the key maybe as a sort of homage to his friend.
I don't know. I mean, I think this episode does a lot right with the nostalgia not being forced. It's just natural, what you would expect. Yeah. But yeah, Fisher's character, I do agree, takes a quite dramatic turn within the space of pretty much the last sort of like few seconds of an episode. I mean, she switches
from the killer of killers, yeah,
killer of killers to fire in the hole. She just switched, and we did talk about her schoolgirl crush came across a little bit odd, but at the same time, I think we kind of gave it a free pass, didn't we, when we said that the three characters represent like Ash at different times of his life, ish.
That is it, yeah.
That might be us thinking deeper into it than anyone actually did think about it.
Yeah, no, that was a perfect nail that you hit on the head there, though, Steve. That was a brilliantly seen. I mean, I didn't see it at all, but when you explained how Kelly and Pablo both shared traits of Ash, and then we spoke about how Fisher then shared the missing link almost, it was just a brilliant observation.
Or either that, or it was really sort of like, you know, weak interpretation just for the sake of it.
I love how in this episode, what you see shortly is how quickly that this has become the norm for Kelly and Pablo. You know, where they stumble across the hikers in the woods.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey guys, hey, and they're just walking towards them with the guns, you know. Just like Ash, like walking around with weapons and things like that. It's just an everyday occurrence for him.
Yeah. Like when he's like in Bait, when he's just got puts the chainsaw on the side and sits down to dinner. You know, it's just chainsaw and shotgun is just to him like mittens and a scarf now. It's no
Even
biggie.
Just looking at the depth of field in that shot a moment ago with Fisher still looking around like she's looking at the mirror right now. Just looking around the cabin, it is all utterly spot on, isn't it? All of it is spot on.
Except for that
bookcase. Oh yeah, except for the trap.
Then again,
oh, the lion!
I was going to say,
God, I never noticed that before.
I was going to say, did you just notice there's a line across the middle of the trap door?
Oh my God, I never noticed that.
It did look like it, didn't it? It looked like
it's still there.
Where he's sawn through it. It looks like someone's put it back together.
Yeah. Did that scare anyone as well the first time round? That make anyone jump? The clip of Shelley. No. Oh man, that really made me jump.
No. It's cool. It's a cool clip. It's not. Line. Well, I don't know. You jumped on it as well, because that was the sticking point with this episode when I first watched it. Was actually, when I first watched it, it wasn't until I watched. I was halfway through, towards the end of Evil Dead 2 last night. After watching this episode, I was like, "Oh shit! Hang on a second." Not that continuity that we've always said has ever really been a big part of the Evil Dead, trilogy.
Yeah.
Franchise, except the great bit of continuity coming up though, where he goes to get a crowbar from the work shed, and that's where he left the crowbar, because in Evil Dead 2, when Muppet Linda's body torso comes through the chainsaw, he deflects it back up into her neck, doesn't he, with the crowbar? So he's left the crowbar there. So that's
nice little nod again back to it.
Another nod back to Evil Dead 2 with the hand behind the wall and the rat as well.
And it's a nod to Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, yes.
That's it, with the little eye out of nowhere. Reminded me of Resident Evil Nemesis, the computer game as well, with the eye coming through, which obviously that clearly got its inspiration from Evil Dead, or Army of Darkness at least.
Reminded me of Drag Me to Hell as well.
I love the maggots, just to that crawling. That's disgusting.
It looks grotesque, doesn't it? It looks
great.
I love that shot as well.
Great speed up shot, just like you would get
Evil Dead. Yep, Evil Dead 2, where he's on the bridge, and you see that really, really cool shot of when the sunset's cracking down.
Yeah, that blue screen shot where I think the kind of, was it the scale or the perspective isn't quite right, but it still looks amazing.
It just looks creepy though, doesn't it? It looks unnerving and horrible.
Do you think if they ever would have done an Evil Dead 4 like around about now, sort of from the not the last episode, the episode before, in the diner, sort of like that point to whatever this series is going to end up, or just the next few episodes, that would have pretty much been the rough outline of what the story had been.
Yeah,
something would have triggered Ash, giving him a reason to go back to the cabin. Obviously, he has an encounter out of work, which would have been the diner.
Mm.
and then he goes back to the cabin. You know, it's.
I think it depends on their budget as well and where they wanted to go, which ending of Army of Darkness they wanted to use, because they could have done Armies of Armageddon or Army of Armageddon, however you want to say it. You know, had Ash fighting futuristic cyborg Deadites in the future, or they could have taken the Army of Darkness ending where he's back at Esmar, and which is where they've basically gone with this. So,
have you noticed as well, might I add, that we've had a lot of Rolling Stones era-esque music in the TV show, and Kelly's wearing a Rolling Stones shirt. That was one little thing that popped up. Right. And would you really expect Australian hikers in the Michigan forest?
Yeah, from New Zealand, didn't they?
Oh, New Zealand, yeah.
That was another thing in the last episode as well, was the soldiers clearly not American. Just putting on bad accents.
And this is a nice little thing where I spoke about that the series was answering so many questions that were going unanswered. One thing that was always brought up was, where the hell did they get electricity for the cabin? Because there was no power lines or anywhere. Well, there we go. Here, there's a generator.
Generator, yeah. The thing as well, when you see the hand. You know, the good old helping hand. It's not very helpful. Obviously, growing a new arm, you instantly just know ashes to ashes. I'm good at. Yeah, you're good, Ash. I'm bad. I'm bad, Ash.
I'm the guy with the gun. I'm good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. Yeah.
This is the scene that everyone's been waiting for. The shot when it comes through this, it's just like back to the work shed.
Did anyone look up top above the door as well? You see just hanging in that shot just then that you saw with the light. Obviously, in the original Evil Dead 2, you had Freddy Krueger's glove hanging from the top of the door, didn't you? It was a nod. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought the Freddy Krueger glove was in the basement next to the left of the door in the cellar.
Oh no, it's above the door. It's above the door in Evil Dead 2. In the cellar in Evil Dead 1, you had the Hills Have Eyes poster, didn't you?
Yeah.
Too. There's nothing there, but in the second shot when he looks into the cabin, it looks like they've placed something there it's like a rake, almost like a leaf rake, but it's got only four blades hanging down. And I'm wondering whether it was the fact of, right, we're not going to include the actual Freddy glove, but instead we'll hang something there that's kind of in the same vein as a Freddy Krueger.
You don't know if that glove's been trademarked now.
Well, exactly. So that's why they might have removed it and then placed.
Is there a line on that?
There is. Look.
There is. Yes,
definitely a line.
There is a line. It has been repaired.
Oh my God.
Oh, so I wonder what's down there then.
Well, there's something else further to look into, isn't it? Clearly, the line's there for a reason. Otherwise, why would they put a line there?
Well, exactly. If they were just going to, just forget about it as whatever. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that bit of continuity. But by putting the line there, there's a deeper sort of story, reasoning going to come behind it.
Yeah.
Do you guys expect these hitchhikers to be back?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
In
they
Deadite
get unharmed. They're on screen for too long, and there's a clear little plot reference between this girl here, the one with the blonde hair, and Pablo. She likes Pablo, obviously. She wants to go back to the cabin, and then we don't see him after. So they're going to come back at some point, most definitely. And like Steve said in the episode, adds for more Deadites.
Yeah.
I do like as well how just still Pablo and Kelly seem such an important part in the TV show, although they're not right now at the cabin. And quite frankly, a lot of us are mainly paying attention to the fact that Ash and Fisher are in there. But still, we are caring about where Pablo and Kelly are. Mm-hmm. Just looks so good. And what sort of look does the cabin to anyone else have in a way? Is it Evil Dead 2 or is it original Evil Dead?
They're going really with like a more Evil Dead 2 kind of look, and obviously coming up now, again you kind of forget it, but Linda's head was left in the vice.
Exactly, yeah, precisely.
So they bring it back now, and obviously the usual Deadite mind tricks, where Linda's talking to Ash, and it's it must be quite hard for the character, because at the end of the day he was just a young lad and he had these dreams obviously of Jacksonville and stuff. And he had to cut his girlfriend's head off with a spade, and and then chop her body up with a chainsaw.
Yeah, well noticed as well, Steve, that you put a tweet out on the Twitter page about even keeping the idea of her hair being frizzy.
Yeah,
very same hairstyle.
Yeah, it's 'cause the actress had kind of like that frizzy hairspray 80s look, but as well, when all the Deadite prosthetics and makeup were put on, they I don't know whether it was a wig, but it seemed even frizzier.
Yeah.
And then especially obviously with the stop motion effect where Linda comes up and does the dance in the moonlight, you can really see how wiry and sort of like, how cheesily fake it is. But I just thought it was a nice touch just to keep that,
Nice shot that is almost kind of paying homage to the shot that went underneath Ash when he comes out the basement, and when the beams across the top go whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Like, very famous and odd technique that a lot of people say, like, what was the point in Raimi even including that? And it was like he just
wanted to put it.
He just wanted to put it in there because it sounded unnatural, and instantly, just then at that shot, I was like, wow, that reminds me of that. What a creepy effect just to add to it as well.
I think even if, like, while someone's watching the theatre, even if one person, when the first one come along, it was like, right, they were like, oh, what's that? I think that was the effect he was going for. It would have probably scared one or two people.
It's an really unsettling and unnerving sound effect, or even it's so unnatural. It doesn't need to be there, and I think it has that much of an effect on you as well.
Yeah. So these are going to be
Nobody's
notes, yeah. So there's going to be obviously quite a lot contained in these books because Ash never got the chance to really go through them, did he? So
I like the monologue piece here as well.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Explaining, about the Kandarian dagger. Kandarian dagger.
Such a brilliant episode for nostalgia reasons, timeline purposes. They've nailed it perfectly, in my opinion.
See, I like this shot. As soon as he walks in, you can see that arm is being sort of like
it's held away discreetly.
Held away discreetly, yeah. So instantly, you're just like bang.
Bad Ash. Like, seriously.
But again, that's a really great thing about Bruce Campbell is he can do both so convincingly.
Absolutely,
he can be this sort of like schmuck hero, but also just a plain schmuck.
He's almost the best arsehole of an actor, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he likes to sort of like portray himself as that really sort of like flippant, cocky,
ignorant,
smug. Yeah. I think as we were saying, it's like my name is Bruce. It's what fans expect him to be like. So he plays up to that, and he has a good time doing it. But then when you watch documentaries where he doesn't have to be like that, where he's going around just like he's talking about all the pictures and letters fans have sent him.
Yeah.
He's just a really nice guy though. And this is a different kind of bad Ash to what we've seen before as well. Obviously, you had possessed Ash, which is full on Deadite.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Which is he's thrashing around the cabin like he's some kind of Frankenstein monster kind of thing.
Yeah, and very skeletal walking, isn't he? Yeah. Like really thrashy, yeah.
Christ, though, when I went back to watch Evil Dead 2 last night, I just realised, especially with that makeup on, and obviously how much weight Bruce Campbell lost during the production of Evil Dead 2. Fucking scarily skinny.
Yes,
scarily skinny when he's evil, like possessed Deadite Ash. And
now you saying that we see two different evil Ashes essentially. We do see slight piece of Army of Darkness Ash, and here he's being very manipulative almost. But this one now, where he's being very, how can I put it? It's very sort of, I can't think of the word. So he's being really different. I've never seen this style of Ash almost. Evil Ash even.
He's not possessed. The evil Ash from Army of Darkness is a pure cartoon character.
Oh yeah.
This is like this is Ash without the conscience. Take away the actual character's heart, that big soft sensor we've said he's got, and this is what Ash would be like. Just a
he's like...
selfish,
It's like he's boiling on the point of being like pure outright evil. Like he doesn't want to tear her to pieces right now, but he's just getting there, you know? And it's really, like, even then, like, where he's sitting there saying name calling is not nice, and you can see he's just building up anger. I really like it. Really, really like it.
I mean, this scene is obviously, it's really good because it's going back to that sort of like the way the Deadites torture Ash, like emotionally.
Did you see that shot from the aerial shot? Then you saw the skeletal remains of Linda on the floor. I never noticed that before. I really hope that shot comes back. I'm telling you, it's there. I saw it.
What corner?
No, it was right behind Ash where he's standing. It's literally on the floor. There was a skeleton there. If we don't get to see it now, oh, brilliant scene. With the head splitting open.
This is when Bruce Campbell does his best, sort of like that weird, sort of like
terrified
breathing kind of. He's like,
yeah.
You know, he's.
Let's see the skeleton by his right foot just then.
This is like pure Evil Dead 2 at that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely. Where like the lamp and all the deer head and everything comes to life.
This is an odd shot, wasn't it, with the slow-mo running?
I mean, oh my god, this
bottom all day long.
Yeah, bottom. Yeah,
yeah.
I was just thinking that
British comedy bottom. We will tweet it in reference, listeners as well. If you're a bit confused and has never heard of the comedy.
Why are we talking about bottoms?
I know.
Yeah, Rick Mail, Adrian Edmondson, they used to have a penchant for smashing each other's heads in the fridge, and this is like basically this is similar to. When Bruce fights his own hand kind of thing. This is a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Like, obviously now it's an actual...
I think it's funny how she doesn't just settle for chopping it off. She has to literally sushi it.
I'm a bit disappointed. I must say that I would like the hand to go a little bit longer.
I was hoping it was going to give a finger at some point, you know, as well.
Yeah, and so Bruce could actually, you know, Ash could actually sort of like, you know, be reunited with it, not in this kind of way, you know. So he'd be like, "Oh, you
bastard! I've been after you."
But you know, I don't know.
I'm so sorry. Let's just now it's done. Great.
But it needed to be done. I mean, I think the
that's brutal.
Did not see that coming. I must.
No, nobody did.
Obviously, Bad Ash had to lose his hand. That way, when Pablo and Kelly arrive, they can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Hey, good shout.
Because obviously, if one's got a hand and one hasn't, then that's obvious which one's Bad Ash. Which is also taken even further coming up because if Ash gets his robo hand ripped off, which takes the metal clip off the stump, so it goes all bloody again. So they both got bloody stumps. So they both look fresh. I don't know. I must say that I was disappointed that they simply say, "Well, Fisher, we knew who you were because we knew you'd help Ash." It's like, all right, but why?
Yeah, so go on. Yeah, tell us, for crying out loud. Give us a clue at least.
Yeah, he's about to.
Oh,
this is Robo had the power glove rips off, and now he's got the same bloody stump as Bad Ash. So, which is going to lead to a big sort of like confusing opening to the next episode, because obviously Kelly and Pablo are going to, when they show up, you know, they're going to basically have them probably tied, you know, both unconscious, tied to a chair, and then each of them trying to convince them who the real Ash is.
Yeah,
probably. Or
and I like how it just instantly goes to skeletal dust as well. This is really dark and cold, evil Ash here, isn't it?
Yeah, he plays this well. He really plays this well, like Bond villain level. You know, just callow. Is it callow or callous?
Callous, even, yeah.
Callous.
I like it how as well they like sort of refer to each other. He's like, my dumb twin can't do anything right. Like as if he's known him his entire life almost.
Looks uncomfortable.
Yeah. But obviously now Fisher is ripe for possession.
Yep. This is where we see an Ash as well that we haven't seen in a long time. That's crazy. It grew another me. Really? I'm sure we're going to be in silence. Sorry, radio listeners, if you're not watching with the TV show. Just the scene of Fisher and Ash sort of, I guess, parting ways almost is quite different. And
it goes to show again, doesn't it, what I said before? You just can't catch a break, can he? He just wants someone or something. You know, he doesn't ask for much in life. And once again, the cabin and the Necronomicon takes it away from him.
And at this point, I was anticipating him to, Evil Ash into the scene.
But we'll see, obviously, next episode what they do with Fisher, because I do think, you know, there's more. There's got to be something else.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if they knew that Fisher would help Ash, then, you know. But then again, they also knew that Kelly, because they sent Kelly's mum back to the house, so they knew Kelly would help Ash.
Yeah. I like as well how he just went completely to stupid Army of Darkness Ash there, and he was like, it wasn't me. Well, it was me, but another me. Like, he just couldn't just plain straight explain it that there's an evil me running around.
And this is now Bruce doing what he does best, beating himself up.
What a great way for them both to go at each other, though. Using their own weaknesses.
Yeah, the writing is absolutely genius. Like, my soft trick balls. Knee. It's like, my trick knee. He goes, oh, my trick
weak
knee.
Kidneys, yeah.
Yeah.
Fake teeth, knee to the mouth.
Is it
even the music's Army of Darkness, isn't it?
Yeah, the way they're flailing their arms around, it's...
Bum shoulder. He's screaming. He's so good at it. He really is the best at beating himself up. As well, like Steve mentioned, the whole breathing, like the like the shocked sort of, I never saw this coming.
So clownish, isn't it?
You notice as well, they've still both got the same bloody nose and the same mark on their face. What a brilliant episode!
It's great, and it touches on, obviously you got references to Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, and then even some Army of Darkness comedy thrown straight in, and then it sets up the opening for the next episode where it's going to be, well, which one's the real Ash, because they both just choked each other out, haven't they? It's like sleeper hold style.
It's very interesting.
Lucy Lawless back?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's like on the trail, isn't she? So,
I mean, we've got
and she's got the Kandarian dagger as well.
We've got episodes Bound in Flesh and the Dark One left. So clearly we get Bound in Flesh. The next episode is clearly obviously going to be focused on the Necronomicon and possibly the reincarnation again of the Force, as from the second movie. We don't know, maybe if they feel that they need to reincarnate the Force itself to send it back. You never know. But as well, I guess the last episode of season 1 that's called The Dark One is going to be a cliffhanger, and I think that is when we may or may not still find out what Fisher and Ruby really are, why they're connected, why the Dark Ones and the Deadites know them, or even why Ruby double-crossed them. That is still hanging there. That is the fact that Brujo's Deadite skeleton comes out and is like, Ruby, you double-crossed us, and still there's no answer to it. There's no lead to it. All we've seen is a hot-ass naked body getting out of the flames and just standing there. And
I'll be happy to see that again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's going to turn up, Eve. I personally think Ruby's going to turn up right at the end, as soon as there's something that can finalise the evil and send it back. Ruby turns up and doesn't let it happen. Or turns up to the cabin and Henrietta pays another visit. Maybe. I
don't know. Henrietta was pretty, blown to bits. Well, after Pee-wee head was cut off and then blasted with a boomstick. Very true. So... yeah.
It's a tough one. Anything is almost possible, I think. But like both of us pointed out, Steve, clearly the basement door has been, I don't know, looks like it's been recommissioned almost and put back in place, considering the lines there.
Well, Ruby's been back, hasn't she?
Yeah,
She's gone back to get his hand and stuff. So, and obviously
chained
the basement back up.
Annie could be in the basement because she was just stabbed by the Kandarian dagger in the back.
Yeah.
And that would lead to maybe Ruby showing up and finding her possessed. I don't know.
Crazy.
It could be, but then again, that's a long time ago, so she'd be like
long time
like.
Oh God, yeah, decomposed.
Yeah.
Well, skeleton.
Could be. I don't know.
I'm hunting for the skeleton shot as well in the cabin of Linda's skeletal remains there. I just want to see if there's a head connected to it. Whether they absolutely will keep in continuity in that. I'm absolutely certain. But I'm gonna find and screen grab with my phone the picture of it, so I can send you guys, just so I can prove that I definitely saw skeletal remains there.
You do that.
Now, what are your thoughts on, I guess, where these next episodes can go?
I want to leave it basically just there because I don't want to speculate this week. I'm really, this is the first week where the 30-minute runtime has really pissed me off because not because the 30-minute runtime per episode is too short, but because I just want to see it. I just want to see it now. I want to see it all,
yeah.
Because going to the cabin to the end, that's like a feature-length climax, and I just want to watch it.
And it just looks so good as well. Just the cabin looked great. The work shed looked amazing. Just everything about it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, has anyone else got anything to add before we wrap up? I mean, there's nothing more we can say. I think we've covered absolutely everything there is to appreciate about tonight's episode.
No, I'm all good.
Steve, anything else?
No, just again, expanded slightly on what we already knew and ticked every box that we expected from the cabin, from a return to the cabin. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. If you've got this far as well. Let us know what you think of the episode and even what you're going to be speculating. Get us on Twitter at Hail to the Chin, number 2. I'll always add that. I won't forget that. On YouTube as well, you can just simply type in Hail to the Chin podcast. Search
iTunes as well.
Channels, iTunes. Are we on
Stitcher?
Yeah, Stitcher. We're on Stitcher as well, Sam.
Yep.
Excellent stuff. But yeah, you can catch us on those social medias. There, guys. I guess thanks for tuning in for this episode. Next episode is Bound in Flesh, 26th of December. Can he wait for it?
Boxing
Day special. Clearly going to be about the Necronomicon, but we shall wait and see, I guess. Anything else, chaps, before we go? No. Steve, last words.
I'm not saying groovy again. That was so cheesy last time.
All right, let's do another
I swallow your soul.
Thanks for joining us, guys. See you later.